Hello class, let's go over a few problems from section 1.5 which is a little bit long. Now the first one is solving quadratic equation with the factoring idea. Let's go over problem number 1a. We can factor 2x out and we are left with 2x, everything gone, minus 1. This equals to 0. Product of two things is 0. So 2x equals to 0 or 2x minus 1 equals to 0. 2x equals to 0 gives, dividing both sides by 2, it gives x equals to 0. And if it is linear equation, we isolate variable and constant, add 1 on both sides, 2x equals to 1, divide again both sides by 2, that gives x equals to half. That's how we can solve quadratic equation by factoring. Now here on problem number B, the main idea is making one side 0. So let's subtract 1 from both sides. Cancel out. What we end up with? 2x squared plus x minus 1. This equals to 0. Now let's factorize. 2x x, this equals to 0. Product is negative 1, that means plus minus 1 we have to put wisely. So here positive x is coming, that's why I'm going to put positive 1 here and then negative 1 here. So product of two things is 0, so either 2x minus 1 equals to 0 or x plus 1 equals to 0. This gives x equals to negative 1 and this gives x equals to 1 over 2. Now we solve quadratic equation with the square root property. Square root property is telling us if you do the square root then you do the plus minus. So x equals to, we have two options, plus minus square root over 16. So either that is positive 4 or negative 4. That's all. Now here in the square root property you want to isolate variable terms one side, constant the other side. So plus 21 plus 21, 3x square equals to 21. Divide both sides by 3. So we got x square equals to 7. So x equals to, if you take the square root, we get plus minus square root over 7. Now here is the one confusion you may have. Whenever we do have two terms, x terms and constant only, basically if you go with the square root property, it will be always easier. But if we have three terms, usually we learn factoring method so far, but we do have few other ideas we will be learning in today's class. Now here I want to isolate, subtract 45 from both sides, cancel out. So it is 5x square equals to negative 45. Divide both sides by 5, both sides by 5, cancel out. So that gives x square equals to negative 9. So if you take the square root on both sides, so x equals to plus minus two options of square root over negative 9, plus minus square root over negative 9, 3, and square root over negative is I, so it is 3i. That's how we solve equation using square root property. Now here on number D, instead of x square, we do have x plus 5 square. So this x plus 5 should be plus minus two options, square root over 11. But we are interested on solving for x. That's why we have to subtract 5 from both sides. Cancel out. X equals to, you guys know, square root over 11 and negative 5. They are not like terms, so we cannot combine. So the final answer will be negative 5 plus minus square root over 11. That's how we can solve the problems using square root property. Now the another idea to solve quadratic equation, which we will be learning in a minute, it is called completing a square. Usually whenever we are completing a square, main problem is what is the number we have to add so that it will complete the square. Always, what is the half of 6? 3. 3 square is 9. That's why we need 9 to complete the square. Always half of the middle coefficient. What is the half of negative 5? So it is negative 5 over 2 half. So we need negative 5 over 2 square. And that will complete the square. Now here, what is the half of 2 over 3? Half of 2. Let's say 2 over 3 fraction, 1 over 2 cancel out. So we got 1 over 3. So we need square of that number. That means we need 1 over 3 square. And if you keep this idea in your mind, that will be helping you to complete the square. Now, let's go over on the problems to solve quadratic equation using completing the square. Now, x square plus 4x, what is the half of 4? 2. So we need x square plus 4x, half of 4 is 2. 2 square. We need that to complete. But did you notice we added 2 square? We have to balance that out, subtracting 2 square, and minus 1 is there. That's why we have to bring that down. So the first 3 terms will complete the square. It is x plus 2 square. And if you simplify the rest of the thing, that is negative 5. And we are using square root property. That's why we have to make x terms and the constant isolated. That is 5. So x plus 2 equals to 2 options, plus minus square root over 5. But we are solving for x. So we subtract 2 from both sides. That gives x equals to negative 2 plus minus square root over 5. That's how we can solve equation completing the square. Number B, a little bit tricky. Now here, these are the 2 terms we will be using to complete the square. Now for that reason, I'm going to factor 2 out first. X square plus 3 over 2x, and that 4 is separate. Now we will be taking care of things inside the parenthesis as we did before. 2 x square plus 3 over 2x. What is the half of 3 over 2? That is 3/4. So 3/4 square, but we don't have that, so we have to subtract to balance that out. Square minus 4 is equals to 0. Now first 3 terms, they will complete the square, but the 4th one we don't need to complete the square, so we will be taking care outside the parenthesis 2. Those 3 terms will complete the square. X plus 3 over 4 square, and that 2 multiplies this expression also. Minus twice 3 over 4 is 9 over 16. Minus 4 is equals to 0. Now it's all about solving. 2 x plus 3/4 square equals to, if you add that, how much that will be? Let me check. Use a calculator. 18 over 16 and then 64 over 16. 18 and 64, is that 92? Maybe not. It is 82. it is 82 divided by 16. We divide both sides by 2. So x plus 3 over 4 square, that becomes 82 over 32. Let's cancel out by 2. This is 41. This is 16. Now we can use the square root property. What does that tell us? X plus 3 over 4, this equals to plus minus square root over 41 over 16. But we are solving for x, so this equals to negative 3/4 plus minus, we can reduce that, square root over 14 over square root over 16 is 4, and that is the final answer. Now here it should be quite easy, and it is the most strong idea to solve quadratic equation. We can use quadratic formula. Make sure you recognize the coefficient. This is A, this is B, this is C. And another thing you have to be careful is whenever we use quadratic formula, you want to make one side 0. Now let's use x equals to negative b is 2 plus minus square root over b square is 2 square minus 4a is 2, c is negative 1 divided by 2 times a is 2. Now that's the complete expression, but obviously we want to solve. So this equals to negative 2 plus minus square root over 2 square is 4. We multiply, that becomes positive 8 divided by 4. Negative 2 plus minus square root over 12 divided by 4. Let's simplify more. Negative 2 plus minus square root over 12, if you reduce, that will be 2 square root over 3 divided by 4. Now let's cancel everything by 2 on the top and bottom. So this cancel out, times 2, cancel one time. So what we got? We got negative 1 plus minus square root over 3 over 2. That's the complete answer. Now here, the next problem. Again, here we don't have any coefficient of x square. That means we should understand a is 1, b, this is b, and this is c. And the right hand side is 0. That means it's good. So negative b is negative 2 plus minus square root over b square is negative 2 square. Whenever you use calculator, please don't forget the parentheses. Minus 4 times a is 1, and then c is positive 2, and divided by 2 times a is 1. So negative of negative 2 is positive 2 plus minus square root over negative 2 square. We multiply negative 2 twice, that gives positive 4 minus 8 divided by 2. Now it's all about simplifying. 2 plus minus square root over negative 4 divided by 2. 2 plus minus square root over negative 4. Square root over 4 is 2, and then square root over negative 1 is I divided by 2. On the top, everything you cancel by 2, so it becomes 2 cancelled by 2. And this cancel that. So 1 plus minus I, and that is the complete answer. Now, whether you guys noticed or not, if we get the complex number b square minus 4ac is negative, if b square minus 4ac equals to 0, we will get just one root. And if b square minus 4ac is positive, we will get two different roots. So a is 1, b is 6, c equals to 9. So let's check b square minus 4ac, the expression under that radical. B square is 6 square minus 4 times a is 1, c is 9, 6 square is 36 minus 36, this equals to 0. What is the advantage? Advantage is you already know if you solve that equation, it will have just 1 0. So that gives some kind of insight. Now here a equals to 2, b equals to -7, c equals to -4. Now let's check. b square minus 4ac. b square -7 square minus 4 times a is 2, c is -4. That is positive 49. Negative times negative is positive. 4 times 4 is 16, 32. So we got 81, which is bigger than 0. So what is the idea it is giving? It has 2 real zeros. Now let me go back. It is telling us 1 real root. It is repeating twice. So that is the insight before we solve the equation. Now here a equals to 3, b equals to -2, c equals to 4. Now b square minus 4ac. b square is -2 square minus 4, a is 3, c is 4. That is 4. Multiply that out. 12 times 4. 48. So that gives -44. Since this expression is negative, if the expression is negative, then it is telling us it will have complex roots. Because square root over negative number is complex. Let me write root. Now here, this problem will need calculator, so I will give you the hint. So this p equals to 0.01 a square plus 0.05 a plus 107. That gives the blood pressure if the is a. The question is, what will be the blood pressure if the blood pressure is 115? So how we set up? Blood pressure is 115. This equals to 0.01 a square plus 0.05 a plus 107. And you already see this is the quadratic equation. So you want to have one side 0. For that reason, I'm going to subtract 115 from both sides. So I got 0 equals to 0.01 a square plus 0.05 a minus 107 and -115. So that is -8. Now here obviously we cannot do factorization because of those decimals. Use quadratic formula. Use quadratic formula. And calculator. And don't forget, calculator. And don't forget, we consider only positive value of a is a correct answer, because here we are looking for a's. If we get the negative value, it does not make sense. Thank you.